Hello, this is Lorraine again, and I am doing another streaming episode. Um, I was supposed to do it yesterday, and I really didn't want to do it. And I put it off, and the reason why, and just so you understand, is sometimes for me, um, the knowing and the feelings that I get throughout the day, the messages come through all the time. They never stop. I maintain an open connection with the higher self, but messages don't only come from the higher self. I get messages from all these other energies, guides, angels, beings of love and light, and you could even say they're the same, one and the same. Here on earth, we are taught either the dogma of religion, and then when we release that, we kind of open up to these angels and guides. And then as you grow, you kind of start to learn that these angels and guides are truly what I call beings of love and light. They're benevolent beings in the universe that are here to support us. But I'm constantly getting messages all the time because I maintain an open connection and I work very diligently to maintain clear, centered, and balanced energy. And I also set the intention to remain open. And the knowing that comes with that, the claircognizance, the clairsentience, the clairvoyance, the empathic parts, all those clairs, that information coming through can be very heavy. It's weight, energetic weight that sometimes I carry. And I always try to stay positive. I always want to send a positive message, whether I'm doing readings or whether I'm communicating in this modality. I want to stay positive and I want to keep people on a path, on that positive path of change. But sometimes that weight of the information that comes in that I'm feeling is overwhelming. And I do readings one-on-one with people, but I also have a very profound global vision of this world and what it's going through. And I'm very connected to the shifts of energy that are happening with Mother Earth. It can be a city, a person, a community, a city, a state, a country, a continent, a world. I just get these waves of energy that come through, and sometimes it's easier to keep it to myself. It's easier to not talk about it. It's easier to sit in meditation and project positive thoughts of a positive outcome out to the collective consciousness and to the world, to the universe, and work towards that goal, that end that I see for this world. It's easier to do that. But I kept on getting these messages. No, you have to communicate. You have to let people know. You have to open yourself up so people can open themselves up, so they can see that they also have this capacity. Because, I was raised Catholic. I was raised very devout Catholic. I was raised, baptized, Holy Communion, confirmation. When I went to college, I still went to church on Sundays. I still went to confession, Ash Wednesday, Palm Sunday. I did it all. And I was happy to do it. My grandmother had a very profound influence on all of us, her kids, her grandkids, and many people in her community. And I honor that, and it's my foundation in my spirituality. But I had to grow to a different place, and I had to open myself up and take it a step further because I knew intuitively there was more. I mean, when I was 21, I knew reincarnation was real. I didn't want it to be, and when I was 21, I started recalling a lot of childhood traumas. And I just couldn't even fathom coming back into this world. I couldn't fathom being incarnated again. And I just was like, please, please do not bring me back. Please don't make me come back. And from 21 to 46, 47, somewhere around there, I realized when I had that massive spiritual awakening what all those traumas were for, why I had those experiences, what it meant for me in my lifetime, and what my purpose was, and what I was here to do. And there was a whole lot of tears from 21 to 46, and a whole lot of epiphanies and understandings that I had to move through. And when I got to that place of understanding and reconciling my past with my present, all my experiences, and understanding, well, I don't know if I really understood, I could actually rationalize why or say this is why that happened. But I was able to reconcile those experiences in a way that I could accept, understand, know, put in a place that I could utilize to help others. So just reconcile those experiences in a way that I could move forward and not hold on to anger, bitterness, resentment, sadness, and move forward. And then at that point, during a meditation, I communicated with my angels, guides, and beings of love and light, and God, our divine creator. And I said, I kind of let it go, and I said, okay, if you need me to come back, into this world, I will do whatever you need me to do. I will go through whatever you need me to go through. If there's pain and suffering and sorrow, trauma and torture, whatever I need to go through, I will do it to change this world, to make it a better place. Because I know what I'm here to do now. And I said, but I need you to give me the same supports I had, because every time in my life where I felt like I was going down or going under and nothing could save me, something always happened to turn it around. Something always happened. Somebody always helped me. And normally it was my parents. My brother Kerman was very helpful at times. Friends just supporting emotionally. But I always had what I needed when I needed it. And I was like, as long as I know I have some kind of support, I'll be okay. I can do it. I can take anything. I can do anything. I can tolerate anything. Because if it changes this place to make it better, to bring it back to where it was in the beginning, then I'm open to that. I'll do it. And that was the beginning of this profound journey that I'm on. And one of the experiences I had that opened me up to that was I did a past life regression at the beginning of this spiritual awakening, and I was taken out of body through a wormhole, and as I was leaving I saw Earth, and I was like, what is happening? And I was given the message. It said, in order for this is how the world should be. This is how they're showing me what the world looked like. Way back before pollution, before all this progress and buildings, and when it was just pure nature, when it was evolving. They showed that to me, and they said, this world can be this again, but there needs to be a catalyst for change. That was the message. There needs to be a catalyst for change. And right now, we're experiencing that catalyst for change. And there's so much going on beyond this virus. There's so much happening outside of the virus that we don't even know. And the reason why we don't know it is because the depth and the breadth of the betrayals to humanity are so far beyond what most people can accept or even comprehend. And so we're given what we can. And so back to the beginning, when I talk about the knowing, the weight of that knowing, the weight of the information that comes to me, when I'm reading articles, when I'm watching shows, I know I can discern between truth and lies. That whole telepathic communication, I don't read the words, I don't listen to the words. I'm listening to the words, but the most important messages are provided in the energy, in the exchange of energy that's happening. And I know what the truth is. I know the timelines are changing, and I'm sure there's somebody else out there that knows too. I'm sure I'm not the only person that can remember past timelines and can see the changes in the timelines. But there's a weight that comes with that. And when I try to engage people, and here's the big thing, let me just say, I can feel the hope. When we came out of that 2-week quarantine, I could feel the hope that people had of moving out of that. But then I can feel just the day, after, like they expected everything to be sunshine and lollipops right after the next day. But this is going to be a long transition. I feel the weight of that hope and then the breath. Oh my God, everything's still the same. And with that, I feel the fear. And I try to talk to people about thinking positive thoughts and sending those thoughts into the collective consciousness. I also talk about the law of attraction, and I'm talking about with psychics also. I talk about we need to consider where the spiritual law of attraction comes in here. That which you put out is what the universe reflects back to you. If you put out positive energy, the universe reflects that back. And then also karma. What role does karma, the spiritual law of karma, play in this? The energy that we've put out not only in this lifetime, over many lifetimes, coming back to us and having to pay that karmic debt. I talked about the individual balancing their energy, and I also talked about balancing the energy of Mother Earth. That is all of our responsibilities, our individual responsibilities and our responsibility to this world, right? We have that obligation. And so when I talk to people about that, being accountable in that sense and putting out the positive energy, and then also releasing the fear, this idea of, what do I have if I don't have fear? That's the energy I get back. What do you mean, release the fear? We could die from this virus. We could die of a lot of things. We could die from being hit by a car. We can die from the flu. We can die from cancer. We can die from natural causes. There's so many things that we can die from, but we are holding on to this fear of this virus with a vice, like it's just this vice grip. And what happens when you think about the spiritual law of attraction? That what you put out is what is reflected back. You have a fear of dying from the virus, you'll manifest that into your life. The same way I was talking about how these energies of a negative polarity are trying to shift the timeline to create, to maintain control. And every time they shift the timeline, they are giving us an opportunity to go back and change past choices in that different timeline, because they're not just shifting from this point forward, they're shifting the whole timeline all the way back to the beginning, right? So the same way that they're manifesting their fears of losing control, we are, as a community of humanity on Earth, are manifesting our fears of this virus by fear of the virus itself. And in the end, it comes down to a fear of death. And So where do you go with that? What do you do? When I try to talk to people about it, they become angry and aggressive, and they start seeing me as the enemy. And I'm not sure that weight that I carry, knowing what it takes to change the world, knowing how many people within this world community are holding on to that fear, and trying to find a way to open them up to this, the real paradigm in which we live, not the one that's been fed to us. How do you awaken people? How do you help people awaken to this truth? It's overwhelming. And I will say people can be incredibly cruel. They can be insulting, belittling, and marginalizing. Personal attacks are profound that I've experienced. Just because I try to give people hope and try to open them up to a different way of thinking, a more positive way of approaching this, it's amazing how they just hold on to that fear. They just have to hold on. No, no, no. If I do that, I could die. If you live your life, you could die, because what I'm experiencing being inside is not living. It's just not dying. So it's a bit overwhelming. It's heavy. It feels like a weight. And when I reach out to Zako and I reach out to the energies, the beings of love and light from the Summer Triangle, they just say to me, our message is to support you. We're here to support you. If you reach out, we will reach back. We will be here to help you. That's it. And then they say to me, but you need to send this message out. This needs to come from you, your higher self. This is your purpose. This is why you're here. You're here to send this message to people. We can't convey the message to people. It's not our obligation. It wasn't part of our purpose. Our purpose is to support humanity through this transition. That's what we're here to do. Your obligation is to convey the messages that your higher self is sending to you, that part of you is helping you through. That is your obligation to this world. So it becomes very difficult sometimes to convey some of these messages, because I know the fear that people are holding on to, and I know how that fear can turn into something really ugly. And so yesterday I didn't do the video yesterday. I didn't come on and stream yesterday because I had no idea how to approach it. But in the end, it always comes down to clear, center, and balance your energy. Make a clear connection, make sure there are no negative energy or negative attachments in your space. Make the connection to the higher self. Make it a strong connection. Don't have your mind on other things, and just go from there. So that's what I do. I just kind of clear, center, and balance my energy, connect, make a strong connection, make sure there's nothing interfering, and then push the button. So that's the first message. The second message is, and this has been coming to me for, 4 years. And I think I touched on before, I have all these messages that come, but there's no connections at that time. So I have these journals. This is my newest journal, but I have a bunch of journals where I write my visions and and the messages that come to me. And this message has come since 2016, I think. And it's just that music is going to heal the world. Music is what will heal the world. The sound, the vibration of sound, sound frequencies will, not only does it break up stubborn spots, stubborn blocks, let's just say, of energy on the planet, it also unifies. So it's so as we so when you hear it, I think the best way to say to kind of demonstrate it is if you've gone to a live concert. I don't care how big or how small, whether you're in a club or you're in an arena. Um, the second the music starts, everybody is on the same page. Everybody is unified behind that music. And normally, when you're going to see a live show, that's music you want to hear. So there's this joy and excitement that comes as soon as the music starts. And everybody's on the same page. The people on the stage, the people in the audience, the people working the show, everybody's on the same page. And even the people that are just there working, in the facility who may or may not be into the music, I mean, they can't help but kind of let that vibe of that positive energy kind of affect them. It's just what it is, it's just what it does. And so, whether or not whether there's 100 people or 40,000 people unified listening to music, everybody's on the same page and everybody's just filled with joy and happiness in that moment. And the other part that's super important, and I think that these are things I don't like to talk. Okay. So when I had a car, I walk everywhere now, but my car that I owned had XM Sirius radio on it, and so Pearl Jam had a radio station. It's free that if you with the subscription, and so there's always these live shows that they would play, and so I would hear these stories that Ed Vedder would tell, and sometimes I just almost have to pull over. They were so funny. I was like, so. Anyway, I'm sitting here listening to these shows, these live concerts, and he's talking, and like you can hear a pin drop if you're in the room or in the arena. It's everybody's silent. They're hanging on every single word that he's saying, and I can feel this energy from him, and I feel I feel that he understands the power and the gift that he wields in his communicating with people, but I feel like he has no idea what to do with it. He's like, how do I use this to change the world to a better place? I can feel it. And that's a heavy weight, but it's true, right? He can get up in front of however many people and everybody wants to hear what he has to say. But that's because people trust him. Right? The world that we have created right now, nobody trusts politicians. Nobody listens to what they have to say. There's too much he said, she said. They bicker like children, like worse, teenagers, cliquey teenagers. That's what it reminds me of. It's so bad. So nobody trusts any politicians these days. And even the ones who probably deserve trust don't get it because this is the paradigm we're living in. But here we are, we have a musician, a band, and with 40,000 people just waiting to hear what he has to say. And that's what we've created in this world. And I'm going to just take it, I'm just going to take an observation that I made. A lot of the entertainers these days that are just coming out, they're branding. They don't write their own music. They're given what they're supposed to do, and then they do it. And they can be here today and gone tomorrow. And there's a huge threat of, like, I'm not going to remain on top unless I do what I'm told. That's the feeling I get. But when you have performers like Pearl Jam, or you have Aerosmith, or you have Bob Dylan, and someone like Tom Petty, these guys have been doing it so long. They do their own stuff. They're doing their own thing. You can't threaten to, put them on the wayside, because people will listen to Pearl Jam in a parking lot. People will go see Aerosmith, in a field, in a swamp. They don't care if they can hear them play. They will go anywhere. they're institutions, right? They do it themselves. They do everything themselves. They have support, but still they're the creators of what they create. They're not given stuff. And so they have a very powerful voice in our community. And people love and trust them because they've been listening to them for decades. And they're you and me. They've been broken and bloodied just like we have. They come from meager beginnings just like we have. And we, in many ways, aspire to humanity, and people like you and me aspire to achieve those goals that they have achieved. Even though, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But so music will heal, just the sound of it, but these performers have the capacity to lead the charge in this transition, in this change, because people trust them, and not just the United States, across the planet. And so that's a heavy weight to bear. But the reason why they're driven so hard on these paths is because this is what they're meant to do. We're all at the precipice of this transition. And as we make it, the reason why they've been driven so hard in their youth and throughout their lives, and all of them, is because now they have the opportunity to help create the change that this world needs. And they do it through music, and they do it by providing a unifying voice, unifying the hearts and souls of people through their music, and then inspiring them through their words, helping them through the traumas that and the tragedies of life, and then the transition to a better place. They have that capacity. And I think Ed Vedder's the voice is probably the strongest in this case, because his gift is, so when Chris Cornell was alive, his gift was one-on-one communication. He talked very well one-on-one with people, and he made very strong connections with people. The stage was never a very comfortable place for him, but he could do it. And he loved music, so he did it. But Ed Vedder's voice, the way he can go on stage and he's connecting with each person in the audience, that's the introvert versus the extrovert. He has an incredible gift for touching each person in that audience, and that is his gift. That's his alone. And I don't think, and I've never seen Pearl Jam live, which is hysterical, at 53. But I can hear it when I listen to the live shows. I can hear how he's connecting. There's little lines and streams of connection with all the people in the audience. And that's powerful, and that's profound, and that's meaningful. And it's not ironic at all that we're supposed to start a tour right before this all happened. Foo Fighters too, right? So I guess if I think about what I've just said, try to reconcile it, is there's a lot of fear that people are feeling. And I just made a connection. Donald Trump just posted something about entertainment in restaurants, like getting the support from Congress for entertainment in restaurants. And I said, those are the places where people connect socially. And so to release the fear that we feel from the virus and what's going on in our country, entertainment, music will be the healing quality. So there we go, 3. There's 3 things. The Trinity. One of many trinities in this world. Yeah, that feels good. That feels right. Give me a second. from Summer Triangle and Zako. You are the light from which all things come. Shine your light onto this world from the heart center. Know that for every action, there's a reaction, cause and effect. Put out what you want to receive. Heal your world. Find the inner light. Find the God within you. The light within is the light of the universe. We all carry it. Not just one, not just Lorraine, not just one. We all carry that gift in our hearts. Seek it out. Find it. Shine it to the world. Be the paladin of love and light for Mother Earth, for your neighbors, in your neighborhoods, in your cities, in the countries that reside near you. Everyone. You are all the same. Borders separate you, but you are all the same. You are all unified. You are all unified in the collective consciousness, but they have separated you. Seek the inner light within. Reconnect with the collective consciousness and the higher self. Be the beings that you are meant to be. Show your true inner divinity to the world. We are here. We are supporting you. Reach out to us, we will reach back. There are no coincidences, only synchronicities. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.